we're live, but we're early, so you and I can shoot the crap for a little bit, and I'll give you my little secret. I'm doing a little palate cleanser, starting with a little of the rosé, because summer's here in Sonoma, and why not? We have a little bit. So I know we're going to do rosé at a later date, but I figured I would. I finished off my bottle of Pinot from last night, so now I'm on my palate cleanser because today we're going to talk about
Zinfandel.
Zinfandel. Figure why not? I'm going to take a sip. If you are tuning in early, for those of you that don't know, we do make a rosé, a Pinot Noir. Since making it since '04, I think. Phenomenal, amazing. We've got some left. $5 shipping, can't go wrong. And it's a beautiful, fantastic, easy drinking, delicious rosé. So I'll finish this up and I'll move on to our Zinfandel that we're gonna taste today for Tuesdays in the cellar. I guess I'll start. So today's Tuesday, and what better thing to do than Tuesdays is go in our cellar and just grab some bottle of wine, some random. Ben and I had the same thought for today. We thought we would grab a Zinfandel. I have mine. Do ours match?
If I could just get it, there you go.
I know the camera angles are kind of funny. So we decided, for those of you who know us, we are actually a Pinot Noir house, and we make Pinot Noir is what we're known for, is what we really do. But Ben, you make Zinfandel. How'd you get started making Zinfandel?
Well, we probably made more Zinfandel than we did Pinot in the early days because there wasn't any Pinot, and I kind of explained that earlier. So Bruce and I, we had a really great little vineyard, Lone Redwood Ranch, just behind the airport. And one time we were at this, just a little story. Jay McMullen's family owned it since forever, and he continued to complain about how many airplanes were going over. And in the conversation we happened to be listening to, the lady at the airport was arguing with him, and he said, "I've been here since '52." She said, "Well, you should have known the airport was here." And he said, "No, 1852.
And the airport was not there in 18.
Yeah, so anyway, we were getting the Lone Redwood Ranch Zinfandel while we were home winemakers, and we would make about 6 or 8 barrels. We made quite a bit of Zinfandel because there really wasn't any Pinot available, so we were making Zinfandel.
And what is it true? And I heard this. You can correct me or not, but I thought I remember hearing that you made the Pinot Noir in your garage in San Francisco, and the Zinfandel was made in Bruce's garage in San Fran. Is that true?
True. Yeah. We just moved everything over to his house to do the crush, and then well, actually, we have pictures. Maybe we'll show it a little later. We would go into the field and pick the grapes and process them there in the vineyard, and then we bring the barrels, the fermenters. We'd roll them onto a truck and then bring them to the city, roll them off. So we rolled the Zinfandel off into Bruce's basement.
And how far away did you guys live from each other?
About 5 minutes.
Okay, so that's easy, but you couldn't really roll barrels down the street or anything, especially not in San Francisco. Woo!
Well, so you know where I live. I live on the hill. So what we would do is my stuff, we would like flow it out of a tank to another using gravity, because I live on
one of the first.
Like this.
That's awesome. And so you were making the Zin in Bruce's garage, the Pinot in your garage, but you were making more Zin at the time than Pinot. And I've seen your garage. So Ben has a home in the city, pretty big garage, especially you think about San Francisco in the city. Hilarious that you guys are making wine in your garage. So no cars in the garage, obviously.
Right? Yeah, we had a regular setup, a regular winery at San Francisco location.
I think your daughters have said, and I want them to guest. I want them to special guest one time. But I think it was Simone who was telling me once. She said, "I never realized that our friends' parents' houses didn't smell like fermenting alcohol. Didn't smell like fermenting wine. That was their norm growing up. My parents' house never smelled like that. It smelled like other things, actually. So I'm gonna pour myself a little Zin because I believe it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
So we used to put rolled up towels underneath the doors because all the fermenting CO2 was like through the whole house and were making everybody crazy. You know, we're all running around there smelling the fumes. So, and
Right.
laughing a lot. We were all laughing a lot.
That's what I say about in the back. Dan and I sit in the back of the offices, and I always say that they need to come check on us during fermentation because those CO2 levels can get quite high. And
well, when I hear you guys laughing, we open the windows.
Yeah, come check on us. Okay, so it's officially 4 o'clock. So it's officially Tuesdays in the Cellar. Welcome, everybody. I'm here with Ben Papapietro, our winemaker. We have gone into our cellars, and strangely enough, we grabbed the same bottle. As I've said before, we decided that Ben would go in his cellar and grab wines. And, you know, I'm just, I don't know, I don't have a full cellar. So I go to the winery cellar and grab wines. And in my opinion, that's a win-win. Since I do inventory as well, I'm enjoying this greatly. So we decided today, we are known for a Pinot Noir. We make 10 different Pinot Noirs. However, we decided to open up one of our older Zinfandels. We currently make one Zinfandel a year, but this is our 2013 Dry Creek Valley Zinfandel. So as I was saying to Ben, we're known as Pinot guys. How did you get into Zin? And he was kind of giving me a little history on that.
Yeah, well, we made more Zinfandel in the old days than we did Pinot because we were really easy to get a hold of Zinfandel, but was impossible to get a hold of any Pinot grapes. So we made a lot of Zinfandel in the early days. And so we actually made 2 Zinfandels from Dry Creek. We made the Pauline's Vineyard, which is one of Randy Peters' vineyards in Dry Creek. It belonged to his mom and dad, hence the Pauline name was after his mom. And Timbercrest Farm, which is where we're located, where the winery's located. And it could be considered, I guess, an estate bottling because it's the grapes are grown on the same property that they're made on, but we don't label it that way. And for years, I made 2 different Zinfandels, but some years they would taste different, and some years, because they're only right across the highway from each other, they were pretty similar. And I started experimenting with the blend of the 2, and it actually was better to have the single Dry Creek Vineyard Zinfandel than 2 separate designated Zinfandels. So we started making the Dry Creek Zinfandel instead of the 2 vineyard designates.
Well, Joseph just posted something. I got to pop that up here because that is amazing. I love it. That was a 2011. That was the Dry Creek Zin. So, but I like the hashtag. Never forget your first. I agree, Joseph.
Nice.
Awesome. There was one year we made 3 Zinfandels. Do you remember which year that is, or does anybody know what year that is? Ben's like, I didn't preface him with this question. 2007, we made both. We made a Pauline's, we made an Ellsbury, and a Russian River blend.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, that was. I was not around back then, but I think I re-released some at one point. The Zinfandels age beautifully. They pick up. I always say they're dark chocolate and cherry when they with some age on them, and they blow me away every time. This is fantastic.
We need a little pepper there too. That the traditional Dry Creek pepper in the Zinfandel, but definitely berry, cherry fruit on here. And, you know, we make our Zinfandels like we make Pinot, and in the cellar we call it Zeno because we do everything exactly the same. We hand sort it, we hand punch it. We no pump overs or anything. It's all made exactly the same way as we make our Pinots. The difference is I use a little older French oak. Not many people use French oak for Zinfandel, but since we use it for the Pinot, I have these great French barrels, so I use it on the Zinfandel. The thing is, Pinot's about 11 months on oak, and the Zinfandel, we usually keep it on 16 or 17 months. So you're aging.
Well, the other interesting piece about our Zinfandel that I always say is normally in the cellar we have the Francois Fer oak, which is known for the barrels, which is known to be more of a Pinot lover's oak, and we use that oak as well in our Zinfandel. So we kind of make our Zinfandel, we call it Zino, right? We kind of make our Zinfandel in the Pinot style, which means it's not that big jammy, spicy Zin that a lot of those Dry Creek Valley Zins are known for, because this is a Dry Creek Valley Zin. And because of that, we do get some of those. Why do you think we're not so big and jammy and we're not so big and spicy?
Well, we watch it really closely because we're right on that property. Look across the street at Pauline's, or walk around our own area and walk through the vineyard to look at those grapes. We try to pick them a little sooner. So the alcohol, we always try to keep it under 15. Sometimes it creeps up a little bit. Sometimes the hot weather, it's almost impossible to stop it. But this particular one is 14.9 alcohol. And it really, it's so balanced, you'd never even know it was 14.9 alcohol. But we keep the bright acidity. I think that's really important with it. And we don't over try to stuff it with too much stuffing. I think, the hand of a Pinot maker, a little less is more sometimes.
It shows through. No, I think our Zin is great. And I know you told me a couple of times, so we do, like you were saying, we could technically consider this an estate wine, which I think that kind of term is going away a little bit. People are realizing that you want to really blend the different areas where the grapes are to really make amazing wines. I'm getting notes over here to read. What was I saying? Oh, so this one is the Pauline's Vineyard, which is across the street from our winery, and a little bit of Timbercrest Farms.
Right.
Hey, Timbercrest, we made a Timbercrest Farms one time. That didn't show up. Oh, maybe that was in 07.
Well, we made it for quite a while. I made the two different vineyard designates. I made the Pauline's and the Timbercrest, but it didn't make a lot of sense that since we're a Pinot house, have one really good Zinfandel. So that's why we blended them together. A little less expensive than the vineyard designate, but I think it made a better wine. So I went with the better wine instead.
I think that's brilliant. I like that a lot. Let's see, Jonathan's piping in. Hi, Jonathan. Luke's asking, what region of Italy is your family from?
It's very southern. We're from Basilicata, which is, if you were looking at Italy, my hand doesn't go that way. This would be Puglia and this would be Calabria. We're in the middle, Basilicata.
You should pull off your boots. You could show us on your boot.
I'm on the inside.
Please tell me you're not. I'm sure you're probably just wearing pajamas underneath that Hawaiian shirt. Oh, you're not. He's going to show us. Oh, wait, where are you going?
Shorts.
Oh, he's not in pajamas. All right.
I've been swimming today, so.
And you match. I'm telling you, you should do this one day from your pool. I think that would be fantastic. We'll all take. Actually, I wouldn't mind doing it from your pool, to tell you the truth.
I'll take it in the pool. That would be,
I think you should, don't take the computer in the pool because you might drop it. And then it would just be everyone listening to me, and that is not nearly as exciting. Okay, so how do you think this 2013 is tasting?
For me, it's held up beautifully. The fruit in this is like amazing. It still has cherry, berry fruit. The nose, it just sucks you right in. It has some toast, beautiful toast, very seductive. It is very similar to our Pinots. It has almost the same sense of.
There's a similarity. You can tell a little bit of yours. Okay, I'm sorry, Todd. I gotta pop this up. Todd is telling us he has a couple of 3 liters of 07, which are our Pinots, to be fair. So we only make 3 liters of Pinot, I believe, right? How long can I hold it for?
We did have some magnums of Zinfandel. We did at one time, but not anymore, I don't think.
Did we really? We don't have those in library. I would have. I would have gladly pulled one of those out for us today if I knew where they were. Nice to know. 3 liters of 07. So Todd, I'm assuming those are Pinots. If so, personally, they're going to be amazing. We opened up an 06 3 liter a year or two ago at our holiday party, and everyone was, I believe I got in trouble for opening it because I'm taking off my notes because there was none left, and they were mad at me for opening it, but we all really enjoyed it. So Todd, I say, if you don't want them, bring them over to California. We'll drink them with you.
Well, if he has a couple of 3 of those, he should probably drink one and see how it is.
I agree.
Yeah, right away.
Report back. Todd, report back. You now have homework.
We're saving that for something special, and you haven't had anything special since 2007?
And this is Tuesdays. Tuesdays, sheltering in place. What else are you going to do but pop open a 3-liter? Actually, you know what would be a lot of fun, Todd? You had an 07 Magnum or 750, open that with a 3-liter, because you know it's not enough wine. Open them together and see how they age in the different bottles, because it makes a difference, which is incredible. Oh, wait, where'd my page of notes go? I have another question. Let's see. Oh, Dan in the back office says 3 liters are the next Pinot time. I'm game. You want to open a 3-liter, Ben? We'll open it in your pool.
Well, we could do that. Once we get this, this, we have to stay away from everybody for 6 feet. Well, once that.
All right, what food would you have with the Zinfandel?
Well, the last time I had it was just a really great pasta, ragu of all kinds of different meats, and it was just like killer. Had some pulled pork and some sausage and some ground beef in the ragu. It was terrific. I mean, that's lovely.
Ben is an excellent cook, I will say. So you have stories of you in the old days when you guys were out camping in the vineyards, right? During harvest.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of those stories, and maybe we'll tell those at the time when more appropriate. Well, you ought to talk about the Zinfandel, talk about the Smackdown.
So Ben, thank you for the opening. I hear there's something called the Zinfandel Smackdown in Dry Creek Valley. You would tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I'd love to. I mean, so Dry Creek Vineyards, they're very, very wonderful to put together a competition amongst the owners, winemakers of Dry Creek. So they invited 30 of the producers in Dry Creek to what they call a Smackdown. And so they put 10 wines on each table. So there's 30 wines. They put 10 wines on each table and break the people down into 3 groups. And you had 15 minutes at each table to taste through. So it's speed tasting. So you had to go through the whole 30 wines in 45 minutes. And after that,
wow.
Yeah, so it was hard work. And so we, at the end of the 45 minutes, you voted for your 3 top wines. And then you were invited out to a wonderful barbecue. So we're all sitting around with this wonderful barbecue dinner. And then they made the announcements of the top 3 wines. And they called out the top 3 wines, number 3 wine, then number 2, Papapietro Perry. I was shocked, and I was sitting next to Yolanda, and when they made the announcement, I shot right up, because the last thing the Pinot guy's thinking is that they're going to pick one of our Zinfandels. So, I mean,
and what did you tell me? You told me later you couldn't have been more shocked if.
Well, if Yolanda told me she was pregnant, but
Yolanda hates that story, but I love it.
I was shocked. So we came in second place the first year, and then the second year we were all in France on a riverboat cruise, and so Dave volunteered, my assistant winemaker, volunteered to go, and they went through the whole process, and then they called number 3 wine. Then they called number 2 wine. And as Dave said, when they called number 1, they said, well, you're not going to like this. It's Papapietro Perry. And we won the Smackdown. They gave us this huge glass that would hold 2-3 liters at least. And so we won we've won twice now out of 3 times we're really just pleased as could be because we're the Pinot House on in Trolley Creek. Everybody knows us as the guys that make Pinot. So we bested them 2 out of 3 years.
And are you not invited back anymore?
Well, we are. But then this year it's been postponed.
Oh yes, of course, this one has been postponed.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm being asked a question. If I won the lottery, what wine would you celebrate with? Well, first of all, I would start with the award from the SmackDown. Because what was the award you got for the SmackDown?
A glass?
It's like this huge glass.
You could put like 5 gallons of wine in that glass.
I would start with that. Let's be clear. And I got to tell you, I don't know which wine I would put in there. My favorite wine, I always say, is the one in my glass with you guys, with Papapietro Perry. So it would depend on my mood. I hate to say that, depend on my mood. I decided I like our wines when they're first released. I love them with age. I like them in between. I've yet to figure out exactly when I don't like them. I got to tell you, I don't think there is a time I don't like them. Maybe when it's the last glass, that's what I don't like. Oh, let's see, Karen and Randall, Louisiana. My background artwork is for you guys, by the way. Everything gotten from Jackson Square, right there. So for you guys. Let's see, Luke, what restaurant would you like to pair for a winemaker's dinner? Do you have any favorite winemaker dinners you've done, Ben?
Well, we've been to Terribles and Tarbells and
Tarbells, not Terribles.
and Tarbells. We've done lots of. We've done which one? The Blue in the Blue in Boca. We've had quite a few successful dinners. We've had a lot of successful dinners. So what I'd like to do, I'd like to be invited to the French Laundry to do a dinner.
I think you definitely need my help with that. That's my bucket list item. So I think we should definitely do that. Okay, Todd's asking, what are your favorite vintages? Oh, we're back to Pinot. What are your favorite vintages for Pinots? Todd, I'm throwing in Zins as well. He loves 07 and 09. He's like in the odd years.
Both of those are absolutely fabulous. The 7 and the 9, the 12. I really love the 12s too. They show beautiful. The Pigs of Pinot winner, the 05. I think the 05 now is starting to really show its age. So if you have any of that, drink it up. I think anything before that probably is a good time to start drinking those. That's 13. The 7's 13 years old. I mean, for wines that are not California Pinots are not supposed to last. They held up pretty damn well. So
your wines hold up absolutely beautiful. Pinots, you're right. American Pinots especially are not supposed to hold up so well. Yours, you're so consistent. You're so amazing with the wines. Upon release, the acids are beautiful. The wines are balanced. But even years later, the wines are still balanced. It's fantastic. All right, Luke. He says they're French Laundry is friends of theirs. Holding you to it.
Yeah, well, I'm more than prepared to go anytime.
I have to come to this one, though. It's the price of 3. Yeah, I got you, Luke. I knew you were talking about. That's awesome. Was there a vintage? Did we ever not make a Pinot? Wait, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh no, I think we have not made a Zinfandel. We've always made at least one Zin. Since 2010, we've only made one Zinfandel.
Yes.
Everywhere. Oh, Luke's also saying, and are you interested in trying an Amarone or Valpolicella?
Whenever I travel in the northern country, is my go-to wine. I love them.
Which one's your go-to wine? I'm sorry.
The Amarone, when we're in Verona or northern Italy, the Venetian area or Verona area, Milan, we drink Amarone. We love those. Really much different. Those are well-aged grape are dried before they even make wine out of them. So 2 or 3 weeks they sit on racks before they make wine out of them. So they extract as much water as possible. So they're very extracted wines. The Mossy wines are delicious. But yeah, I like them.
Well, Mossy wines are very good. Let's see. So you told us about the SmackDown. Let's see. How we got started in Zin. I will also reiterate that our wine club is all red wines, and we do offer a Pinot Noir only, and we offer a regular all our reds. So the fall shipment always includes our Zinfandel. We typically have been selling out the last couple of years prior to coming to the new release. So we do have our 2017 is our current release that is available right now. We don't have any. Oh, I lied. The 13 Zin was available on our website for a little bit, but then we sold out of it. And I think I stole back some 14 Zinfandel and put that on the list, which I got to tell you, 14s were delicious. The 14 Zin's going to be amazing.
So more people don't know about the Zinfandel. California Zinfandel for years in the 1890s and 1900s, early 1900s, all the wine was made, all the Zinfandel was sent to San Francisco, where it was aged in barrel and then bottled and shipped all over the world. We shipped thousands and thousands of cases of Zinfandel. We called it Claret. The rest of the world sold Claret everywhere, and it wasn't until after the 1906 earthquake that all the storage tanks, there was enough wine in the storage tanks actually to put out the fire, but they didn't know how to pump it. They didn't really know how to access this wine, so they lost all that wine. And then the world changed. We went through a couple of different disasters, the phylloxera, and then Prohibition kind of wiped it out. But we were selling Claret, which in the day was a Bordeaux style wine made out of Zinfandel. And all the way, I made Zinfandel for years and always made it in that style. And then like 1978 or so, one of the wineries came out with a late harvest Zinfandel. I think it changed the way people looked at it. A late harvest Zin, 15.5 alcohol, man, it just took everybody by surprise. And everybody started making these late harvest Zinfandels, 15, 16, 17% alcohol with, so you could smoke a cigar with them, two glasses of that, and you fall over backwards. As a traditionalist, I kind of wanted to bring back what Zinfandel really was for many years. A more elegant style wine. They called it Claret. So we kind of formed our style on that idea.
Have you ever made a port? A Pinot port is in port? No. Good call. Okay.
Nope.
How about grappa? Have you ever made grappa?
I did one time, and we borrowed I have a garbage man friend that had a setup. So Bruce and I put off some wine that we weren't really happy with, and we made about 5 gallons of grappa each, right? Ooh. So Bruce loved it. Oh man, we got to do this every year. I have 4.5 gallons of grappa that I made 25 years ago. I made a lifetime supply. I may never drink it.
Well, if the economy goes to crap and you need gas in your car, I think you can use that grappa.
We can fly to Europe with that. I can put the 5 gallons on a plane.
Wendy and Fred Nunes said they know who makes good grappa.
Well, we do know who somebody does, and every once in a while I get a barrel that I'm not really happy with. Fred and I work together, so I send it over to Fred, who has a distilling license at St. Rose, and we make a little brandy. I've made a little brandy for personal consumption, but to the Nuneses, thank you.
Nuneses are fantastic. All right, Jonathan's asking, is a Zin a peppery Zin? I much prefer them to jammy Zins. Personally, I think we fall under neither category of jammy and peppery.
This one does have a little pepper to it. I get a little white pepper in the finish, but it's definitely berry packed, and it's more elegant. It's an elegant style Zinfandel. We don't try to over express them. I think a lot of the elegance of the Zin comes out when you don't try to make a big bomb out of it. I think they have enough of filling in there to really stand up. Could be very food friendly. The way I think people are starting to realize that style, and this last year where we didn't win any award at the taste off was I think a lot of the wineries have backed off a little bit of the super alcohol fueled Zinfandels.
David just said they drank an '07 Pauline's Zin a couple nights ago. It was gorgeous. David, I agree with you, man. Our Zinfandels age beautifully. The problem is we only put aside 12 cases for the Papapietros and the Perry, so I only have about 8 cases I'm allowed to steal back to sell. So if you do see our Zins, that's why we're on 14. We sold everything else. Our Zins age gorgeous, absolutely beautifully. They turn into that dark chocolate and some cherry aspects. Amazing, really amazing.
Well,
yeah, no, you're absolutely fantastic. Well, and actually your Pinots too, not unfortunately, but your Pinots age beautifully as well. All your wine does. I don't know about the Rosé. I haven't tried that.
So did we find, was Dan able to do?
Dan was not able to upload those photos, so we would love it if you could show us some. Don't go yet.
That's a Zinfandel day. That's when we were Burrow Cellars in the old day.
Wait, what did the hat say?
Burrow Cellars. The winery was at Burrow Cellars.
Yeah, go up. That's awesome.
Burrow Cellars. That was in the day I had a black beard at one time. This is actually processing Zinfandel grapes. So you can see how big they are, right?
And can you also see it takes a lot of beer to make good wine?
Oh yeah, I had a beer in my hand. Yeah, you have to. And then let's see, I have a picture that's really kind of cool of this is how we used to, this is the setup. Let's see.
Go up and over. Is that
Bruce
in the tank top?
Well, what that is our destemmer. So we were right in the vineyard, fill up those buckets, had Bruce is up there with the fermenters, 55-gallon drums. We would fill those, and those would what we bring back to the city to ferment in.
I like the fact that Bruce is not only in all white while he is out in the vineyard working with grapes. That is pretty, that's pretty, look at the black socks. That is nice.
Quite the style.
The barrels you were talking about going back and forth, the blue barrels.
Those are what we fermented in 55-gallon drums. I'd have maybe, I'd have like 30 or 40 of those in my basement. I'd get up in the middle of the night and I'd be punching those down by myself. And so this is around 1990 or so. You see the barrels, I'm still using the 3, every year I bought 3 brand new Francois Frères barrels.
Those are not cheap.
Not cheap. And this is the team. We would all go out to the field and we'd all work out there. That was the winemaking team.
Oh,
a bunch of home winemakers.
Those are awesome. We will post those photos on our Facebook and our website as well. Those are fantastic photos. I will say we'll post this video. We're posting the videos, of course, on YouTube and on Facebook, and they're on our website too. So if you want to rewatch these, also, I do have a couple quick questions that I want to, if I can find these again. Jeff's saying, remind me which year we have a 16 and 17. Should we open, or do you recommend a side-by-side? Jeff, I always recommend a side-by-side. You have 2 hands. God gave you 2 hands for a reason, is my theory. It's called Irish handcuffs, by the way. Yeah, side-by-side these. That's phenomenal. Kristen and Ben, how are you both not raging alcoholics working in the wine capital? Because, Jonathan, it's called professionalism out here, drinking the wines. And the more you drink, the more you know, kind of the less you know.
Well, everybody knows that wine is the beverage of moderation. And so every good Italian family knows that wine goes with dinner. You can't have dinner without wine. It makes no sense. So it is like, that's how I grew up. We ate dinner 5 times a day.
I agree. Well, I will tell you too, you just mentioned that you did Punch Down, but Simone, your daughter, just posted, yeah, Julie and her used to help with the Punch Down.
Well, Julia is actually the employee number one.
Yeah, Simone,
I'll
sorry.
show you a picture the next time we go to Pinot. And Simone was actually the employee number two. I mean, because from 80 to 85 was just the family operation. Bruce joined me in 85, but when Julia was 3 years old, Simone was Yolanda was nursing Simone, and I didn't have any hands, and I needed one other set of hands. So in the middle of the evening, Julia is sitting on a bucket holding a strainer, and Dad, I'm really tired. 5 minutes more, kid, just 5 minutes more.
Simone just corrected. She's like, well, not in the middle of the night. Simone backtracked, by the way. She admitted it was not in the middle of the night that she was called into service. All right, we are over our 30 minutes.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, who knew Zoom could be so much fun? Absolutely a ton of fun. Today, by the way, is Bruce Perry, the other half of this birthday.
Happy birthday, Bruce.
Happy birthday for you. Want to cheers? Did we practice this earlier? Ah, crap. Yeah, go that side. Cheers, cha-ching. Oh, wait, watch this. Yeah, I have somebody here with me.
Out of your glass if you go further.
Well, I've noticed that I've refilled my glass like 6 times in the middle of this tasting. So to be clear, I don't pour a lot because I like to swirl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get like 15 of these.
This glass will hold pretty much a whole bottle of wine. It's very surprising.
It will. You know, Dan did that. He just poured a whole bottle of wine in here. He said doctor's orders, 1 glass a day. Anyways, cheers to everybody. Thank you for joining us. We sent out a Facebook happy birthday to Bruce. It's kind of funny if you want to eyeball it in, but cheers. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, everybody. We will see you Thursday. Time. Ben and I will be back here again. That's right. We have Randy Peters. Randy Peters is going to be our special guest. And so
we're going to need an extended time.
We are going to need extended time. Yeah, Randy talks. Randy and Ben are fun together. You guys are the dynamic duo, so this will be good.
He's going to tell you it's all a vineyard, though. He's going to tell you that.
He already called me out on that, and I told him his chance for debate is Thursday.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
So, yeah. Hey, cheers, Ben. Cheers, everybody. Thank you for joining us, guys. Bye-bye.
Wow.